It's New Year's Eve. The room is full of laughter. Someone pops champagne, and then the first firework goes off. You glance down at the sofa, and your dog is gone, just an empty cushion, still warm. You find him behind the wardrobe, the darkest corner of the house, trembling, eyes wide open. You reach out your hand, and they pull away. They don't want comfort. They don't want you. They want to disappear. Most people call this fear. Some call it dramatic. But what actually happened inside your dog's brain in those first 3 seconds is a neurological event. And the reason they chose that dark corner is not random. It's ancient. It's precise, and it starts faster than you can blink. Here's the first thing you need to understand. When a firework explodes, the sound hits your dog's ears at well over 85 decibels. And at that intensity, something happens before thinking even begins. It's called the acoustic startle reflex. In 1999, researcher Michael Koch mapped the neural circuit behind it. What he found was remarkable. The entire startle loop from sound to full body flinch completes in 5 to 10 milliseconds. That's faster than conscious awareness. Your dog's body has already reacted before their brain even knows what the sound was. But that's only the beginning, because the sound you hear is not the sound your dog hears. Human hearing covers a range from 20 Hz to 20 kHz. Your dog, 67 Hz to 45 kHz. More than double the upper range. Researcher Henry Hefner documented in 2009 that fireworks produce harmonics, overtones, that fall directly into the dog's most sensitive frequency band. The perceived intensity for your dog may be 2 to 4 times greater than what you experience. The same explosion, a completely different experience, and here's where it gets deeper. When that amplified sound signal reaches the brain, it doesn't take the normal route. It doesn't go to the cortex for analysis. It doesn't wait to be understood. Instead, it takes what neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux calls the low road. Ledoux mapped this pathway in 1996. The signal travels straight from the thalamus to the amygdala, the brain's fear center, bypassing the thinking brain entirely. The decision to run, to freeze, to hide, it's already been made. Before your dog knows what scared them, before they can even process the color of the light in the sky, their body is already moving toward that dark corner. But the startle reflex is only the trigger. What follows is chemical. Within 3 minutes of a loud explosion, your dog's cortisol levels can spike by 200 to 400%. Researchers Nancy Dreschel and Douglas Granger measured this in 2005. They collected saliva samples from noise-phobic dogs during storm events. The cortisol levels they found were not moderate anxiety. They were equivalent to what a body produces when facing a life-threatening event. Your dog is not overreacting. Their body is responding as if survival is at stake, because neurologically, it is. So now the question becomes, why darkness? Why not run to you? Why not bark at the sound? Why choose the smallest, darkest space in the house? The answer comes from Temple Grandin, one of the most important figures in animal behavior science. In 2005, Grandin and Katherine Johnson documented something critical. Darkness reduces visual stimulation. The brain receives fewer threat signals. And when an animal presses its body into an enclosed space, something else happens. Deep pressure contact. The compression against walls, against tight spaces, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's calming circuit. It's not hiding in the way we think of hiding. It's self-medication. Your dog is pressing darkness and pressure against their own nervous system, and it works. And this behavior is not new. It's ancient. For thousands of years before your dog lived in your apartment, their ancestors, wolves, survived by retreating to dens, dark, enclosed underground spaces where threats couldn't follow. Veterinary behaviorist Bonnie Beaver documented in 2009 that this den-seeking behavior has been preserved through 15,000 years of domestication. Your golden retriever in the bathroom closet is running the same survival protocol as a wolf pup in a den on the Siberian steppe. The furniture changed. The instinct didn't. But here's something almost nobody thinks about. If you have a cat, they also disappear during fireworks. But they do it differently. Your dog trembles, pants, whines, seeks you out, or hides noisily. Your cat vanishes, silently, completely. Researchers Adahori and colleagues documented in 2017 that cats show a dominant freeze response. They go still and invisible, while dogs show a dominant flight response. And the reason goes back millions of years. Cats evolved as solitary hunters. When a solitary animal faces a threat, stillness is survival. Dogs evolved as pack animals. When a pack animal panics, it vocalizes because there might be someone to help. Same fear, completely different strategies. Written by evolution. And there's one more layer to the hiding behavior that most people miss entirely. Have you ever noticed that during a thunderstorm, your dog heads specifically for the bathtub or the tiled bathroom floor? In 2008, researcher Nicholas Cracknell proposed a hypothesis that shifted the conversation. During electrical storms, static charge builds up on a dog's fur, and that charge may cause a persistent, uncomfortable tingling sensation across their body. Tiled surfaces, bathtubs, concrete, these are grounded surfaces. They discharge the static. Research suggests your dog isn't just seeking darkness and pressure. They may also be seeking relief from a sensation you can't even feel. But here's the part that changes everything. Noise phobia does not get better on its own. It gets worse. Veterinary behaviorist Karen Overall documented in 2001 that without intervention, noise phobia follows a predictable escalation. Year 1, mild discomfort, panting, looking for you. Year 3, full panic, hiding, refusing food. Year 5, anticipatory anxiety. Your dog starts showing fear responses before the fireworks even begin. Each unaddressed episode teaches the brain one thing: the threat is real, and next time, react faster, react harder. The spiral only turns in one direction, and this is where the science becomes almost unsettling. Some dogs begin to show anxiety 30 to 60 minutes before a storm arrives, before the first rumble, before the sky even changes color. Researchers Emily Levine and Daniel Mills documented this in 2008. These dogs were detecting changes in atmospheric pressure, barometric drops that precede storms, long before any human in the house noticed anything. Your dog isn't reacting to thunder, they're reacting to the pressure shift that predicts thunder. They're afraid of something that hasn't happened yet. And that level of anticipatory fear is one of the hallmarks of clinical anxiety in any species. And now, this is where it becomes personal. Because your dog isn't just reading the storm, they're reading you. Researcher Stefanie Riemer published findings in 2020 that shifted how we understand the owner-dog relationship during fear events. When you become anxious, when you rush to comfort them, when your voice goes high, when your own body tenses, your dog reads all of it. And they don't read it as comfort, they read it as confirmation. You're scared too. The threat must be real. Riemer found that cortisol levels actually synchronize between owner and dog during stress events. Your fear becomes their fear, not because you're doing something wrong, but because your bond is that deep. But not every dog responds the same way, and that's not about training, it's about genetics. Researchers Katrina Tiara and Hannes Lohi published a landmark study in 2015 examining noise sensitivity across thousands of dogs. What they found was striking. Noise sensitivity has a heritability of roughly 0.4. That's comparable to anxiety disorders in humans. Certain breeds, border collies, German shepherds, Shetland sheepdogs, carry significantly higher genetic vulnerability. Your dog's fear response during fireworks may have been written into their DNA long before they were born. Not every dog who trembles was traumatized. Some were simply built to listen more carefully. And here's a distinction that even most veterinarians don't always make clearly. Noise phobia and storm phobia are not the same condition. Researchers Bonnie Sherman and Daniel Mills clarified this in 2008. Noise phobia is triggered by a single channel, sound, a firework, a gunshot, a car backfire. But thunderstorm phobia is multisensory: sound, barometric pressure changes, static electricity, flashing light, wind shifts. The dog experiencing a thunderstorm is being bombarded across every sensory channel simultaneously. And because the triggers are different, the treatment has to be different too. And this brings us to something most people never consider. Chronic noise phobia is not just a behavioral inconvenience, it has a physical cost. In 2010, Nancy Dreschel published research linking chronic fear responses in dogs to measurable health consequences. Dogs with persistent, untreated noise phobia showed markers of cumulative cortisol damage, compromised immune function, accelerated aging, and on average, shorter lifespans. The fear your dog experiences during every storm, every firework season, every thunderclap isn't just passing through them. It's accumulating in their bloodstream, in their organs, in their years. So what can you actually do? It starts with learning to read the early signals. Long before your dog is trembling behind the wardrobe, they're telling you something. Lip licking when there's no food around, yawning when they're not tired, ears flattening against the skull, a slow, deliberate withdrawal from the room. These are not subtle once you know what to look for. And the window to help is here. And these early signs, not after the panic has already taken hold. The most powerful thing you can do is build them a den. Before fireworks season, before storm season. A small, dark, enclosed space. A closet, a crate with a blanket draped over it, a corner behind furniture. Put something with your scent inside, an old shirt you've worn, a pillowcase from your bed. And then the rule that matters most: never force them out. Never open the den to check on them. Let them choose when to enter. Let them choose when to leave. The den only works when it feels like their decision. Because what you're building isn't a box. You're building the one place in the world where their nervous system knows it's safe. And now, one thing that needs to be said clearly. Never punish a dog for being afraid. Never drag them out of their hiding spot to face the noise. That technique, called flooding, doesn't work. It makes everything worse. And never leave them alone during a storm without any option to self-soothe. Researchers Emily Blackwell and colleagues confirmed in 2013 what many veterinary behaviorists already suspected. Punishment during fear events doesn't reduce fear, it accelerates the phobia trajectory. The dog learns two things: the noise is terrifying, and you can't be trusted during it. And there's a line where love and understanding aren't enough. If your dog's fear response lasts more than 1 hour after the sounds have stopped, if they injure themselves trying to escape, scratching through doors, breaking through windows, if they refuse food for more than 24 hours after the event, these are signs that the fear has crossed into clinical territory. Your vet can help. A veterinary behaviorist can design a combined approach, behavioral modification paired with situational medication, that gives your dog's nervous system the support it can't provide on its own. You're not failing by asking for help. You're doing exactly what the science says works. So, let's go back to that moment. New Year's Eve, the empty cushion on the sofa. You find your dog behind the wardrobe, trembling, wide-eyed, pressed into the darkest corner they could find. Now you know what happened. A startle reflex completed before they could think. An amygdala hijacked their brain. Cortisol flooded their bloodstream at survival-level concentrations, and the darkness they chose wasn't panic. It was protocol. They're not naughty, they're not cowardly, they're not being dramatic. They're running a survival algorithm written 60 million years ago. And in that moment, behind your wardrobe, it was the smartest thing their brain knew how to do. Next time you find them in the dark, don't turn on the light, because now you understand. That darkness is their sedative. That pressure is their armor. That small, quiet corner is not defeat. It's the most intelligent decision their nervous system could make. And if you sit beside them, quietly, calmly, without words, you become part of that equation. Not their rescuer. Something better. Their safe place within the safe place. If this changed how you see the dog trembling under your bed tonight, stay with us. Because next week, we're exploring something just as hidden. What your dog actually experiences neurologically, emotionally, chemically in the 60 seconds after you close the front door every morning. They're not just waiting. And the science of what happens next might be the most important thing you learn about your dog this year.